Hello, my name is Vanessa Jackson. I'm the Clinical Director at Adjuvant Behavioral Health, and today we're going to cover part 2 of our AMD training module. In this presentation, we're going to cover the following: client notes, choosing different templates, the problem list, signing notes and charge slips, accessing the telehealth module, messaging the client, the patient portal, assigning homework, as well as the ABH resource library. At each section, there's a chance to pause if there's something to try. I recommend you take advantage of this feature, play with it, and let us know if you have any questions along the way. The first thing we'd like to cover are client notes. From that main dashboard, as you can remember, there are 3 fields to choose from. On the left-hand side, there's today's calendar view. In the center will be a series of donuts. And on the far right-hand side, you're going to see whichever donut was selected. Open up that dashboard, go to the calendar date you're trying to create a note for. You can arrow to the left or to the right next to the date in the far left-hand side, as you can see here on the example. And you just go to over the name. There's green and a brown appointment type. You would pick one of them, for example, put a left click over the name. You're going to select appointment, and then you're going to select patient note. The template type is Adjuvant Behavioral Health. If this does not say Adjuvant Behavioral Health, you'll have a very funky template pop up. If it doesn't look correct to you, check to make certain that this is set correctly. The template, you're going to read those carefully to select, and we'll cover this in more detail here in just a few minutes. The ICD is where you place the diagnosis, and below that you can see the date and time. When you select that little calendar view next to it, the pop-up on the left-hand side bottom will appear. You're going to select the correct date and slide the little gears next to it up and down until you set the correct time. This is how you would preload a note as well. You can go in for tomorrow, for example, set that appointment note, and then you just make certain you set it for the correct time so it auto-populates the next day at the correct time. On the far right-hand side there, you say time elapsed. You're not going to know this until the appointment happens. However, you have a gauge of how little or how much time is possible for a certain type of appointment. For example, we generally do 45-minute sessions. So you're going to be within a range of 38 to 52 minutes. 52 is the max you can be for a 90834. And I gave the rest of them there for you to reference as well. For the client note, you're going to select the note tab, which is the next tab over, and you're going to be able to fill it in. Once the treatment plan is finished, the diagnosis, medications, and goals auto-populate. This makes it super simple for you to write those notes during the day of. Play with that and see if it works for you. The next piece is choosing the different templates that I referred to that we cover in more detail. On that info tab, it says template on the far right-hand side. A pop-up will occur when you click that for you to choose from. There's a bunch for you to choose from: living plan, medication letter, safety plan, treatment plan. The most common ones you're going to be selecting are psychotherapy intake, treatment plan, psychotherapy progress note, as well as process note. And be careful that you're not accidentally selecting psychiatry note or psychiatry progress note. Looking at it and doing it real quick, it's super easy to accidentally select the psychiatry features instead of the psychotherapy template. And it will look very strange to you. If you get in there and your template looks odd, go back and check to make certain that you selected the template you intended to. Play with that and let me know if you have any questions. The next piece is our problem list. When you create a diagnosis, the problem list should autofill. However, sometimes it doesn't. The one thing to check here on the main client portal that you can look at in that little dashboard, you're going to see a problems card. What you want to look for here is to make sure that F code comes before any Z codes. We cannot have a Z code as a primary diagnosis. Insurance will reject. So just want to make sure these are in the correct order. If this did not autofill, you can go into this and select that green plus symbol and fill it in yourself. Play with that, see if you can find that, and let me know if you have any questions. Signing notes and charge slips. Once you've fully filled out that note and it's exactly how you want it, you totally agree with it, it's good to go, you're going to sign. Please keep in mind, once you sign that process note or progress note, it will not let you edit or delete it moving forward. So make certain it's finalized before you do that. Once that's done, you're then going to create a charge slip. Stay within that field, don't leave, and you're going to select add linked. This is what attaches that charge slip to the correct appointment. If you try and do it from another field, it's possible, but it will look like a charge slip that's not attached to an appointment. So you're going to do it within that patient note. You're going to select add linked. A drop-down menu is going to appear and you're going to select charge slip pre-filled. This is going to cause it to be pre-filled. And then you're going to go to the charge slip tab within that. You're going to select the procedure code if it isn't already selected for you. A common 45-minute session is a 90834, as you see here in the sample. You're going to leave the modifier blank. On the far right-hand side, you can see MOD, and there's nothing written in it. Leave that blank. You do not need to fill that in. POS needs to be O2. This is what causes it to look like an online session. And the diagnosis code, as you can see, is directly below the MOD and POS, and it says F32.8. If I had multiple diagnoses, they would all line up. If a Z code comes before an F code, you do not need to go back into what we talked about before. You can simply here drag and drop and move it. Now you can go back and change that if you would like to, as we covered, but you don't have to do that here. Just drag and drop it the correct order and make certain that F code is sitting in the correct order. To double check to make certain you've signed all of your notes and all of your chart slips at the end of the day, you're going to go to that main dashboard. And this is something no one showed me until much later into working in AMD. And I was so grateful when I learned this little trick. It saved me a lot of heartache and fear around, did I do it? I can't remember. I'm not sure. So you're going to go to that main dashboard. You're going to select provider home, provider list view. And then when that pops up, you're going to see what it looks like here at the bottom of the screen. I've got two pretend clients I've created for you that say test client name here. You can just pretend there's a name in there. On the far right-hand side, you can look over, you can see charge slip and you can see note status. Both say signed. That's what you're looking for. If one says saved and one says signed, you're just going to go back into that client note, find the proper note and sign it. But this is a great way for you to check. I do this process at the end of the day before I check out, and I do this at the end of my week, and I go over the whole week to make certain that everything is signed just in case. See if you can find that and let me know if you have any questions. The next piece is our telehealth module. This is how you're going to meet your client online. In order to meet your client online, you're going to go to that main dashboard. You're going to select provider list view. Make certain that the correct date is listed and that it's your name there as the clinician, not someone else's. Otherwise, you'll get another wonky view. If you've got other clinicians there for some reason, just hit the X next to their name until you see only yourself sitting there. I've got a little arrow pointing at it for you to see. You're going to select then next to the client that pops up, the little green camera icon, and that's it. See if you can find that. Let me know if you have any questions. So messaging the client. This is how we communicate with our client via email. You're going to go to the main dashboard. You're going to select the messages donut. You're going to do new message, portal message, select the proper patient. You're going to write the message and you're going to hit send. Super simple. See if you can find that and let me know. Okay, so the clinician view of this, I want to cover this in a little bit more detail. So all communication must be limited to the patient portal. To send a message through the patient portal, again, from that main dashboard, select the messages donut, new message, portal message. You can see a number listed above that message. That tells me how many messages are in my inbox. You're going to want to check this daily, just like any other email address, to see that your clients are not messaging you. You will also receive messages from our admin team and from our finance team as well if they have any questions, as well as IOP. And so this is where all communication happens in reference to that client. The other benefit of messaging the client through this is it will automatically save to their client file. So you don't have to go back in and create a separate note documenting that you've done continuity of care, or that you've spoken with someone regarding treatment plan, or that you've been messaging that client. It will all be saved right there for you. The patient's view, however, looks different. Once the client has completed the intake form, they're going to receive an invitation for the patient portal. They're going to set up that account. And what you're going to see here on the left-hand side is kind of what they get. It's this invitation. They're going to fill in all of those fields. If for some reason they lose access to this, they can message or email the admin at adjuvantvh.com or the phone number listed, and they can help them get back into their account. When that client receives a notification in their email, it's going to look like this. I used Jenny as a sample. She filled this out for me so that I would give you something so you can see what it looks like. When they get that email, they're going to select that little green icon that says view message. Once it's opened up, it's going to look like what you see here. Within that message, they have the ability to ask questions, reply, go to their inbox to view or delete. The next piece of this is assigning homework. All homework sheets and handouts were already shared with your client during their onboarding process. All they had to do was download it from that zip folder and save it to their personal device or computer. If that didn't work for whatever reason, they struggled or it didn't get saved, just as a backup, if all else fails, when you're doing a share screen of a worksheet, or let's say you're using something that wasn't included in what they were sent, it's just a tool that you really love and you've had success with your clients, they can always do a screenshot or take a picture of it with their phone and then just take notes in a notebook. The ABH Resource Library is a resource I highly recommend you utilize. Within our Google Drive is a folder called the ABH Resource Library. Within that folder is another folder called the Process and Procedures folder. Within that are ABH internal processes, AMD processes, and Paycom processes. This is anything and everything you might need to know or how to do with step-by-step directions so you know how to complete it. If there's a direction not included that you would love to see here, please contact your clinical director and we'll get that added. If there's an error or something's not clear, we would also love that feedback so that we can make some clarifications. See if you can find that. Let us know if you have any questions. If at any point you need help, this is what you can do. Check out the ABH Resource Library and the Process and Procedures folder. Almost everything is written there for you that you might get stuck on. Reach out to your clinical director as needed. And every week, your pod will have a meeting and your clinical director will maintain some office hours. Email him or her for specifics. And then, of course, we always have our chat via Google Chat and then our spaces for communication as well. If you have a question about something, chances are someone else within your pod also had that question and we can help each other through this whole process. We are super excited about this process. Please reach out to us and let us know if you have any questions. And we are so excited that you are here.